Hey everybody, thanks for joining White Dog Outdoors. I know a lot of people have been watching our salmon videos, and a lot of people have asked me to do a little instructional video on how to tie the woolly buggers that I use. And if you've watched those videos, you kind of know that I use them almost exclusively for salmon. I just find them to be really effective. And so we're going to tie a bunch up today. I do have another trip planned, and we went through a bunch last time, so we're going to tie a bunch up. So figured we'd do the video for you guys that wanted to know how to tie this. There's a couple of keys to this particular fly. Yeah, it's just a woolly bugger, right? But I do tie it slightly differently, mostly in terms of the weight. So if you've watched my videos, you know that I'm basically tight line nymphing these woolly buggers so that I don't floss or don't snag the salmon. So two keys: I need to make the fly really heavy because I want to keep a straight line between the fly and the tip of my rod, so that I'm not having my line go horizontally across the bottom of the water and accidentally flossing fish. Plus, by keeping that line tight and being able to feel that fly, I can feel everything that's going on, and I can usually tell if I'm getting some sort of activity, if I'm getting a bite, or if I'm not hooking them right, if I'm accidentally getting them somewhere. I can usually tell that. So keeping a tight line, having a heavy fly that's going to allow you to do that is really important. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I already have this. I tie a few different sizes, but I'm basically using a size 8 streamer hook. This is the particular fly this is the particular hook I've been using for a while here, but it's just a mustad streamer hook, size 8. The 2X heavy is good. If you can find 3X heavy or heavier, go for it. Basically, these hooks do tend to bend out sometimes when you got really fresh salmon. If you guys saw my last videos, you see that the salmon were really fresh and they were straightening out a few of my hooks, which is a little bit frustrating. The other thing is, again, weight is important. This is not a tungsten bead. This is just a regular brass bead. You could certainly do tungsten. I go through so many of these. I'm not using tungsten. I could add a little bit of a tungsten weight in there as well. This is just a 3/16 bead head. This is in like the black platinum or dark platinum. And I put one of those on there. Okay. Now, I said we're going to tie this really heavy. This lead wire is what's really going to allow me to create the weight in this fly to be able to feel what's going on all the time. Okay, so we're going to start off by laying some lead into the fly. Okay, so I'm going to start back at the back, and I'm just going to start making wraps up this fly. And I'm going to count, actually. I'm probably like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I know that 20 wraps is going to give me a pretty good weight of that fly. And I'm not going to waste any of this lead. I'm going to use it all. So I'll bend it around and try to cinch it in place. Okay. Okay, for the thread, I'm just going to be using a straight 6/0 black thread. Nothing special here, just a black thread. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the thread. What I'm going to do is I always like to build a little bit of a dam behind the lead. And this is going to do a few things. First of all, it's going to secure that lead in place, but also it's going to create a little bit of a dam so that the lead doesn't start coming undone toward the back of the fly, which it can tend to do. Going to build a little bit of a taper up to that. Not going to really matter a whole lot because this is going to be a thick fly. So I'm just going to go over the lead with my thread a few times, build a little bit of a base over that lead. Okay, just trim off the tag end. Okay. We'll bring this down to the tail. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put on our marabou. So I can do a bunch of different kinds of colors here. I would say browns, olives, black, and purple tend to be my favorite colors. It's pretty much what I fill my box with. You can tell I got a bunch of different styles in here. And a bunch of different sizes too. You know, I'll go some bigger sizes. These are size 8s. I'll go down to like a size 4 for the really big ones. I've tended not to use the big ones lately. I've been having good luck on the smaller ones, so a size 8 is perfectly fine. But in this case, just so you can see the difference in color, I'm going to do a purple and black. That's one of the ones I like. So I'm literally just going to start off with a little bit of purple marabou. Okay. I'm just going to select a little piece of marabou that I can use. I'm going to spread that out. Basically, just lay it where I want the tail to be. Right about there. So I'm going to grab it with my left hand now and do a little pinch. Wrap with my thread. Tie it in where I want it to be. And then I'm going to wrap up the body of the fly. Basically, I'm just building a little body to the fly. Okay. And we're going to trim that back. I'm just going to build a little mass there. That's all. Okay. We're going to tie that down a little bit. All right. These things do not need to be pretty. You're going to burn through a lot of these flies if you're into fish. So I don't make them pretty, I make them fast. And that's why I like these flies, is I can make them fast. Now, one thing I'm going to recommend is having the right type of hackle for this. So right now I'm going to throw black on this one because this is what I like to use. This is a bugger pack for the hackle. I find that to be extremely effective in being able to cover the fly, having the right length, everything like that. This is nice. It comes with a bunch of different lengths and different sizes, but they're nice and they're perfect for woolly buggers. So they literally are bugger packs. So I'm just going to pull out appropriately sized feather here. All right. We're going to start by tying in that feather. I'm going to spread it out like this just to get the hackle fiber sticking out. I'm going to tie it in by the tip, at the tip of the feather at the base where the feather is going to start. Okay, I'm just going to lay that back, and then I'm going to take some purple chenille, and this is just kind of what I have left from a pack, but this is nothing special. This is just purple chenille. Okay, we're going to lay it in here, tie it back to where we want to start wrapping, right back to the tail, and I'm going to bring my thread forward. This is simple. I'm just going to start wrapping. Keep those tail feathers out of there if I can. And that's it. I tie it down 3 times or so. I'm going to cut off the leftover, put a few wraps in there to tie it in. Okay. Now we're going to take our hackle feather, and we're literally just going to start wrapping around. You can use hackle pliers if you want. These are long enough and small enough fly I don't really need to. Just going to try to lay these evenly. And again, like I said, this does not need to be anything special. Just something that makes it look nice and buggy. Couple wraps behind, couple wraps in front. I'm going to trim that tag end. Pull these back and start laying in a little bit of a head behind that. And that is pretty much it. I'm going to throw on a whip finish. This is going to finish off this particular fly. And that guy is done. So again, I like this because it's fast to tie. Incredibly effective flies. Again, different colors, whatever you want. Mix them up. Try them out. Last time I was on the river, I was trying purple. I couldn't get a bite for anything on the purple. I went to black, and that's actually what I really have to tie a lot of tonight is the black, because I really did use a lot of them. I hardly have any of them left. But I thought the purple showed a little bit better the different pieces of the fly. So, all right, this is the woolly bugger that I use for salmon. You know, keys are keeping that line tight, having enough weight in that fly that you're going to be able to keep it tight, watching your line, feeling that fly along, and hopefully, you know, if you're around active fish, you can get these guys to bite. I've had plenty of success catching salmon and getting them to bite on these woolly buggers. This is definitely my favorite salmon fly that I use when I'm on the river. I put it on every time, and I usually don't change to anything else. Maybe an egg pattern, but this is really all I need. So anyway, when I take this fly and I drop it in my hand, like, I feel how heavy it is. That's a nice heavy fly. There's a lot of weight in that fly. This is exactly what I want. You know, if I wanted to get a little more weight in there, I'd probably use tungsten, or I could even throw a bead in the middle that's a tungsten bead to give it a little extra weight. So anyway, this has been the woolly bugger that I use for salmon fishing. Hopefully you guys can tie a few of these up. You know, if you have some success on these, I'd love to hear about it. Send me some pictures of the fish you catch on them. But anyway, good luck out there. We'll see you guys soon.